Welcome into Steelers Latest, your daily spot for all news and information related to your Pittsburgh Steelers. Remember, like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content to stay up to date with everything Steelers. But let's get rocking. What can we expect out of our 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers team? And did they actually improve over this off season? Defensively, I confidently state yes, this team did get better. The biggest hole going into the offseason defensively, was in the secondary, was in the cornerback room. We brought in two solid vets with Darius Slay and Jalen Ramsey. That fills that hole completely up. The front seven's gonna be locked down as always. I think they're only gonna get better, especially with Peyton Wilson and Patrick Queen in year two of that duo in the middle of the field. I think those two, they're gonna be lights out in the middle of the defense and the front four. As long as we get TJ Watt signed up, we know what the front four is gonna do. They're gonna wreak havoc on the quarterbacks of opposing teams. Safety, free safety, I know a little bit of a hole kind of opened up now, losing Minkah Fitzpatrick, but the coaches seem pretty on board with Juan Thornhill. And if you look at his career history, when he was in a solid organization like the Chiefs, he won 2 Super Bowls with them. He performed well in Kansas City. He goes to Cleveland. The water is different in Cleveland. We know players just tend to suck a little bit more when they go to the Browns. So that's what happened in Cleveland. That's what we're going to write those Cleveland years off as. So far, he's done enough to impress the coaches where they felt comfortable enough to give up Minkah Fitzpatrick. Hopefully, the interception numbers go up from the free safety position with Thornhill. That would be an added plus if he can do that. I would love to see that for him. And for the Steelers, we need more turnovers. Minkah wasn't creating the interceptions like he used to, so that's why we had to move on for him. Moving to the offensive side of the ball, I would love to say we improved offensively, but I'm not completely sold on that. I think quarterback wise, pretty much a wash for me. Like it's just Russell Wilson last year to Aaron Rodgers this year seems pretty relatively even, in my opinion. Maybe slightly worse, maybe slightly better. Who truly knows yet until Aaron gets out on the field for us. Uh, Wide receiver wise, we bring in DK Metcalf. We get rid of George Pickens. George Pickens, I think long term might be the better move, but DK this year definitely the more solid piece. But then there's no wide receiver two really after moving on from George Pickens. I know we got Calvin Austin, and hopefully he has a breakout season, but I'm not completely sold that's going to happen. This really depends on if the offensive front can give Aaron Rodgers time. The run game, I think, definitely improved. I do love the addition of Caleb Johnson in the draft. Jalen Warren getting more touches should be interesting to see. I think they should be able to establish themselves more. But if Aaron Rodgers in the pass game can't figure it out, the box is going to be loaded again, and this offense is going to be back in neutral, moving at a snail's pace, 1, 2 yards a click, and punting after 3 downs. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. I really do hope it's an improvement. I just don't trust Arthur Smith enough. I could, because of how tough the schedule is, I definitely could see us having a worse record at the end of the season than we did last year, which sucks. But you never know. If we really suck, we get a high draft pick, and hopefully we find the quarterback of the future. Let's move on though to a little bit of disrespect shown towards Cam Hayward in the executives, GMs, coaches poll. Cam Hayward ranked as the 10th best defensive tackle. Uh, this is blasphemy, honestly. Cam Hayward, through the last 8 years, 6 of them, 8+ sacks. That's consistency right there. He's always on the field. He is just a consistent stud for us. I think this mostly is because of his age. I mean, he's 35 years of age now. He's getting up there. Retirement's probably right over the hill right now for him. It's a couple miles away. He's almost there. He's almost at his destination of retirement. But he's a 5-time All-Pro in those past 8 seasons too. I mean, Cam Hayward, just the disrespect here. I think he's always slept on. I think Steelers players are always kind of disrespected in media polls, management polls, PM polls. It's all every type of poll, fan polls. Everybody hates the Steelers. It's always disrespectful towards our premier players. TJ Watt deserved the defensive player of the year probably every year past 5 years. But they give it to Myles Garrett most of the time instead. Why? No one knows. But I'm just over the amount of disrespect shown towards the Steelers' top players. Cam Hayward is probably I'd take him over probably all but one Chris Jones defensive tackle in the league right now. He is an absolute stud in the run and a disruptor in the pass game. And he added the batted balls last year. He had 8 pass defenses, best in the league. I mean, you can't beat that type of production from a defensive lineman that's usually playing from the interior. Uh, let's talk about another crazy subject as Terry Bradshaw continues to rant and rave about the Steelers giving up on Kenny Pickett. And I once thought this way too when Kenny Pickett initially got traded, when we didn't start him in the playoff game and all that all that mishap a couple years back. I initially felt this way, but Kenny Pickett, I don't think really looking back on it, never showed true flashes, Terry. I don't get why you're so hung up on this. I know we spent a first round pick on him, didn't really get much in return. Definitely a loss on investment there, but it was just a swing and a miss. He never showed out. I think the Steelers always are looking to improve their team, and they're always looking at it as a win now scenario. And we've gone out and signed quarterbacks the last 2 years that we believe put us in a better position to win games than Kenny Pickett did. And I'm sorry you feel so upset about this, Terry Bradshaw, but we got to get over it. We just, come on. It's in the past now. We can't change it. Kenny Pickett's done a play for the Browns this year. Once again, the water's different in Cleveland. He's going to suck more somehow. He's going to suck more. And that's probably going to be the end of Kenny Pickett's career. And I'm sorry to say it, but that's just how the NFL works. And you're not going to get your way, Terry. He is never going to be a Steeler again. Hopefully, I don't look dumb a couple years from now and get clipped with that. But I'm going to end the show today. I think I can fired up some fans on Monday, talking about some of the winners, the biggest winners from the Steelers offseason players wise. And I said Will Howard was one of them. And a couple people jumped on that in the comment section, really talking about how he would forever be a backup. Basically, I said Howard's a winner because he could potentially, if the stars basically align for him, have a starting role next year, play himself into a starting role with the retirement of Aaron Rodgers. And I only say this because the team is technically built good enough if we get the proper quarterback play to go on a deep run in the playoffs. Like if we had a young, experienced quarterback, a young like if you gave us, let's just say, uh I don't even know right now. Joe Burrow. Yeah, we'll just go Joe Burrow. This seems instantly way better. That's too high of a tier in quarterback, I feel like. But if you just switch Jalen Hurts over from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh, I think this is a better example. Jalen Hurts, he's a great quarterback and all, but he's definitely not like if the team's bad, he's not going to change that. Jalen Hurts, he comes over here. I think you put him in this roster, it's solid. So if we get the solid quarterback play from Aaron Rodgers, we're going to have a good record and we're going to make possibly a run in the playoffs if he can string together a couple of games. And then we'll have too low of a draft pick in the first round where the Steelers, how likely do you think it is the Steelers will move up into the top 10? We haven't done it. We're not doing it. I don't see the Steelers doing it. They're too scared to pull that trigger ever again after the Devin Bush mishap. So I just don't see the Steelers making a trade up, even though we do have all 12 draft picks. And I know We have 12 draft picks. I saw you guys commenting that too. And the move is to trade up with them. I'm not completely sold the Steelers are going to trade up because we usually don't see the Steelers trade up. That's just not their move. And I think that's going to stay. I'm just saying, if the Steelers have a solid season, have a winning record, make the playoffs, maybe win a playoff game or two, there is a scenario where Will Howard, because of the situation put together this offseason, could have a starting role in 2026. But that is it from Steelers Latest. I've been your host, Cole Dennis, and I will see you tomorrow.